Hey everyone, and peace to the gods and goddesses of Planet Kai. Welcome to Escape the Matrix, a platform for open-minded individuals to have respectful, intellectual conversations. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'll be discussing round or flat earth. Now, before getting into this, if you've started your spiritual awakening, you know nothing is what it seems, and we're in a process of decoding the programming our oppressors have put on us. And although there's substantial amount of information pointing towards certain sides of this conspiracy, none of us ever really know. And we can never really know unless we test it out ourselves and see it with our own eyes. I'll present to you my theory with the information I've learned, and you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below after seeing this video. So round or flat earth? I say both. I see how both of these can easily seem accurate, but in reality, I support the firmament theory. I'm not religious, but even the Bible mentions it, and there's numerous cultures that share the same belief hundreds of years ago. What is the firmament? If it really exists, here's an example of how it's assembled. Ever heard of the term as above, so below? Quoted from the Emerald Tablets? It has many interpretations like whatever happens on Earth is reflected in the astral plane or duality between things. In this scenario, as water below, so above. During my research, I've come to learn no one has ever been to what we think is space. In fact, the moon landing was fake and they've admitted it. Buzz Aldrin, the pilot from Apollo 11, said it.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest. It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does, I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you didn't.
was
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all heard the man? And NASA has even admitted they fake things all the time, and our space photos, including images of Earth, are CGI. Here's Eugene Akers also admitting his father's secret that they both took to the grave.
Hello, my name is Gene Gilmore. My birth given name is Eugene Reuben Akers. I don't want any money for what I'm doing because hopefully this video won't come out until after my death. So I have nothing to gain, nothing to profit by telling you what I'm going to tell you. Okay, anyway, this is the story that my dad told me on his deathbed. Project Slam Dunk was the name of this. President Johnson in 1968, okay? In Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. They had men that fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. He said that in front of the airplane hangars was pole framing with large canvas tents that was concealing the inside of the staging area. Inside the staging area, on flatbed trucks, was uncrated the lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded in that hangar. Dad was one of 3 guards that guarded the inside of the front entrance. There was a list of 15 people who could enter. No one else was allowed by order of President Johnson. And here is that list, and I gave it to Bart Seibel as well. Anyway, President Johnson, Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, Werner von Braun, Robert Emenegger, Gene Kranz, James Webb, Joe Kerwin, Dr. Thomas Paine, Glenn Looney, Dr. Christopher Kraft, Dr. James Van Allen, General Trudeau, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Simon, and Grant Norrie. I realized my dad wasn't lying. I lifted the lid off my dad's case, and you can see that his name is Cyrus Eugene Akers. He was born on July 17th, 1933. He died on September 28th, 2002. Here's his badge, and I wanted to see if I could get as close as possible so that you can read the numbers on the bottom, which are, okay, there it is. Zero 07596. 07596. That's my dad. And it must have been a really early picture because he's only got 2 stripes, so that was back in the 50s, I'm sure. Probably not long after I was...
And not to mention, they did programming on us when it came to this via The Simpsons. It really blows me how people don't see the movies and shows contain truth. Everything comes from somewhere. And the evil on this planet thinks they can escape karma by obeying the universal laws and putting the truth in plain sight. Here's something else to support the firmament: Earth's atmosphere layers. After the exosphere, there's another layer they consider deep space, and it's impenetrable. Even the satellites are in the exosphere. Here's an excerpt from an article on RT.com. The Earth's atmosphere is much bigger than previously thought, extending far beyond the moon, a team of scientists have revealed. The amazing discovery was made thanks to data that has been sitting unexamined for 20 years. We now know that the atmosphere surrounding our planet stretches 391,464 miles away and is 50 times the diameter of Earth, thanks to the discovery and analysis of decades-old data by scientists at Russia's Space Research Institute. It means that the moon is part of our atmosphere and not outside of it. In fact, it's actually located right in the middle of our atmosphere at an average distance of 238,855 miles from Earth. And what I find the most interesting, how do they know it's in the middle of our atmosphere if supporting round Earth theory? Really think about that. So now we know even if the moon landing was real, it's still in our atmosphere, so they've never been to so-called space. And with this knowledge of our ozone layers, the exosphere is the final barrier, and past that, what they've been calling deep space is where I believe the firmament starts. I would like to circle back to the as above, so below. Here's some rockets that have been launched, and something remarkable happens. Here you can see the rocket curve and make a wave-like pattern, just like a boat would through water. It's literally making ripples. Insane. And I don't know if you guys seen this man, Mike DeGry, apologies if I pronounced his last name incorrectly, but he's discussing what he found in the ocean, another ocean, that was also impenetrable.
One of the strangest places on the ocean's floor was only just discovered in the 1990s. And Mike DeGry is one of a handful of people to ever see it in person.
Without a doubt, one of the most amazing things that I had ever seen in the bottom of the ocean, and it was while filming for Blue Planet, it was in the Gulf of Mexico. And I noticed there's something out in the distance, couldn't tell exactly what, but it looked like a dark band. And as we approached it, the dark band became a donut. I saw this donut that was black in the center. What the heck is that? And so as we get closer and closer to it, I noticed that the black band had what appeared to be kind of steam over it. And then I looked, and there was water lapping against the shoreline. This band was a ring of mussels. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Coincidentally, a few days after this aired on the television that he had made this discovery, when him and his friend were flying the helicopter, it exploded and he died.
Sad this was his fate, however, I'm not surprised. And here you can see an eel going into toxic shock after entering and exiting the firmament. As he even mentioned in the video, their submarine couldn't go down there, and I believe they showed how this could be possible in the movie The Meg. Do you remember the scene where they had basically blasted through the deep sea with a special craft, and the heat from that was how the Megalodon was able to escape? Guys, I believe the ocean is space. Like, they really try convincing us aliens don't exist, but now most of us know that they do and live amongst us, and we're seeing more UFO activity than ever. And for those of you whose cognitive dissonance is so strong, let me ask you a question. With how many galaxies, planets, and star systems there are, and NASA even told y'all they've discovered over 5,000 habitable planets, and we somehow seem to think we're the only intelligent and apex species? I mean, just go to the ocean and you'll be proven wrong immediately. They haven't even explored all of it, and it occupies over 70% of our planet. And you don't think there's some shit down there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, just look at these creatures they find at the bottom of the ocean. And the deeper you go, you find them getting bigger and more unique. We've been looking up this whole time for aliens when we should have looked down. Even most UFO sightings find them coming out of the ocean and going back in. And listen closely to what this reporter says.
Man on the moon 50 years ago helped inspire future female astronauts. Our Forrest Saunders introduces us to some of the women who shattered the glass ceiling in the sky and made history in space.
And Hillary Clinton loves referencing it too.
And in me, I want you to know that nothing has made me prouder than to be your champion. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now. Able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you. It's got about 18 million cracks in it. Night, what an incredible honor that you have given me. And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet.
Now, y'all can believe what she says she's referring to, but us enlightened ones know what she's doing. Look at another form of predictive programming. Here's a Hennessy commercial 5 years ago. What the hell does cognac have to do with the firmament? Y'all gonna let these creatures keep playing in your face? They're putting the truth in plain sight. If you haven't peeped the 2022 quarter design, it's astronaut Sally Ride with a firmament behind her. Also in the Avengers Infinity War, this even went over my head, but do you remember when Iron Man and Doctor Strange were arguing in the aircraft? Why does it look like they're traveling through water? Their explanation on round Earth, considering gravity, how water comes into play, it just never made sense to me. And I trust my own eyes before them. When I'm on a plane, it would be evident at some point for you to see the curvature of the Earth. Why does the horizon look like this in the ocean? Or looking miles out in a desert? You should see some type of evidence showing the curveness. I believe in the Nos-Confusion map done by an explorer who traveled past the ice wall. And flat Earth could still support hollow Earth theory, but that deserves its own video. And concludes this one. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe to the channel for more controversial topics. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Guys, we only have two options at this point. Either continue feeding the Matrix or deprogram the indoctrination and step into your higher self. The choice is yours.